Hey there, it's Sue from toxinfreefuture.com. I'm making a new batch of sauerkraut today. I went to the markets this morning and bought a mammoth cabbage. This is not quite half of it. It was probably about there, would be about half, I guess. So it's pretty huge cabbage. And so I thought I'd make some new sauerkraut. I've already started. So I've got my first lot in this jar here. So that's all made up and ready to go. I've got a couple of these big jars for making sauerkraut, because quite often we end up with fairly big cabbages. So what I do, I've just shredded up some more cabbage here, and that's just using the mandolin slicer. You can chop it by hand just with a knife if you want to. Up to you if you don't have one of these little slicing things. So that's all just shredded up, fairly thin. I don't get really fussy about the sizes, just as long as it's all around about the same kind of thickness. You'll see I've got a couple of bigger bits here, which normally I'll just kind of chop them up so that they're a bit thinner, just like that. These are the little bits off kind of like the core, so yeah, I'll just chop them up a little bit finer. Now in this batch I'm adding fresh turmeric, which I bought at the markets quite some time ago. So that's fresh turmeric if you haven't seen it. It looks kind of like ginger, but it's bright orange inside. So that's it there. I've roughly julienned, my knife skills aren't up to chefing standards, roughly julienned some fresh turmeric, and I'm also adding some green chilies. These are quite hot chilies into this lot. So for each one of these bowls, like this bowl, I know from past experience holds about 1.5 kilos of shredded cabbage, I think, although that feels a little bit heavier. So each time I fill this bowl up, I'm adding 2 of these green chilies, but that depends on whether you like the heat or not. We do. So I'm adding 2 of these chilies, just roughly chopped, and a couple of the little tubers of turmeric for each one of these bowls. Okay, so once I've chopped them up and I've chopped up my cabbage, I just pop them in the bowl. And to a full bowl, the size bowl of cabbage, I usually use about a heaped teaspoonful of good old Celtic sea salt. So heaped tablespoon, I think I said teaspoon, tablespoon of salt, about that I'll pop in there. Remember that the salt is for to preserve the food, stop unwanted bacteria, but it's also for taste, so it's really up to you how much you want to put in there. But a tablespoon per kilo or so, or 3/4 of a tablespoon per kilo, I find is about right, pretty good. So once your salt's in there and whatever else you want to add, I mean, you can do it with just cabbage, you can make it with just cabbage, but the thing that I love is that adding things like turmeric or other spices, I mean, turmeric is an incredibly powerful anti-cancer herb. It has fantastic antioxidants. And so when you add things like that, chili does as well. I mean, chili's anti-cancer as well, and has amazing health-giving properties. When you add things like that into a fermented vegetable dish, it actually increases their potency. The fermentation, where there is a process of almost partially digesting them, and so it just increases their potency and their health-giving properties. So yeah, when you have something like the cabbage, I mean, cabbage has been shown, as all brassicas do, to have anti-cancer properties, and then you put in amazing herbs like chili and turmeric, you end up with a fantastic food that's just going to do amazing things for your body and help you to prevent any kind of cancer in your body. So once you've got your salt and everything in there, what you're doing is you're just basically massaging it, I guess, trying to break it up until the liquid starts to come out of the cabbage. You can use a rolling pin or the pestle out of the mortar and pestle and pound it if you like. I just use my hands, as I said in my last video, until it gets quite juicy, and then just pop it into the jar and pack it into the jar. And that'll take, we've got pretty hot temperatures here at the moment in Queensland, and it's kind of getting towards, not the middle of summer, but those kind of temperatures, I guess. and so it'll probably take about a week or 2 weeks to ferment. But again, it depends on your taste. I mean, the longer it ferments, the more tart it gets, I guess, and just the flavour changes. So just taste it as it's fermenting and see what you like, you know. I've got my last batch here. I've just emptied the last of that into a smaller jar, and if you have a look in there, you'll see it's quite wet. There's quite a lot of liquid in there, and it's quite moist. And that one there had a bit of turmeric in, but it had dill in there as well. I didn't put any chilli in this one, but it had dill in there, and it's quite tart now because that was made before I even went on my juice feast. So that was probably made about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And I had made a big jar like that, and that's what's left. So it keeps for, I don't know, forever maybe. I don't know how long it keeps for, but in the fridge it will certainly last a very long time. And yeah, it's just amazing, cheap, really good food. I mean, I paid $2 for that cabbage this morning at the market for $2.50. My chilies, I paid $2 for a whole tray full of them like that. And I paid $3 for a tray probably close to that size of the turmeric as well. So, you know, I'm not going to use anywhere near that. So I've also am adding some seaweed into this as well. I really forgot about that. So I've got some, I think it's wakame. Yeah, wakame, organic wakame leaf. Seaweed, there's a little bit left in there, and I'm using that in there because I like to add seaweed to all of my ferments, or my vegetable ferments anyway. So yeah, so it's just a case of getting that to break up and get the moisture out of it, and then pack it in the jar and let it ferment. So that's it. Sauerkraut will be ready to eat probably in about a week and a half or 2 weeks time. And the other thing is always keep a couple of the outside leaves to put on top. So like once the jar is full, I'll just break a piece off that's around about the right size and push it in so that I can pack the cabbage down, and that'll sit over the top, and it'll help to stop the top from going mouldy or a bit funky, because if they get any bits that are outside of the liquid, they might go a bit mouldy. So that helps to stop that. So I just use that, I guess, as kind of a cover to hold that down, to hold the cabbage down under the moisture. So yeah, Sauerkraut 101, that's it. Give it a go. It's amazing food, and great emergency food too. If we get any cyclones or anything this summer where we are stuck here without any power and things like that, this stuff will last, you know, even without a fridge. It's, you know, forget your tin food, eat sauerkraut. It's fresh and it's alive and it's good for you. Okay, bye.